Minute movie review.
Hey everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again.
It's time for the J. Craig 5, maybe 10-minute movie review.
The Hummingbird Project is a movie coming out this week starring Jesse Eisenberg, Alexander Skarsgard, Selma Hayek, and directed by Kim Nguyen, who I'm not familiar with his work. He is a French-Canadian filmmaker. This movie is about fiber optic cable. Yeah. Very exciting stuff. The story is about trying to get a line of fiber optic cable underground from Kansas to New York Stock Exchange in one straight shot. Now, the purpose of this line is to have information passing from point A to point B and B to A in 16 milliseconds, or 1 millisecond faster than anybody else, which is the flap of a butterfly wing. A flap of a hummingbird wing. And the purpose of that line is to make them a lot of money. Okay, so that's the point of the story. Very, very exciting stuff. So let's talk about the characters for a second. So Jesse Eisenberg, he is the same character in every single movie he's in. A couple variations here and there, but I just always find him to be Jesse. He's playing Jesse again. Fast talker who's going to get people to convince people to do something. Okay, that's it. You have Alexander Skarsgard, who I liked in Tarzan, and people love him in True Blood, but here he is completely miscast. He's supposed to be a coding nerd. Okay, so he's a super tall guy, so they made him slouch and hunch, so he had a little bit of a bad posture. They put him in baggy clothes, like a big robe, glasses, shaved the middle of his head, but give him hair on the sides, Yeah, looks like a guy dressed up as a nerd. That's all there is to it. It looks like there's a guy underneath there who is not that guy, who they're just dressing up as a nerd. Fail. It does not work. His performance is okay, but the look of it just screams, hey, that guy's dressed up as a nerd. Is it Halloween? And then you have Selma Hayek, who is the villain, I guess, by default. She has some good moments, but she doesn't have anything to offer this movie because she's not an effective villain because she has nothing to do. She threatens them. Whoa, watch out. I'm going to threaten you with some bad stuff. Okay, so she's kind of like an imposing threat, which it doesn't really have any value because the overall point of the story is it's ineffective, the whole thing, and it's uneventful. So there's no conflict. There's no change of character. There's no consequences to any of the actions here. It's just from point A to point B. A straight shot. Pew. So I say, where's the arc? Well, you don't need an arc. You have a straight line. This is about fiber optic cable, so we're going to keep that straight line. It's kind of metaphor for the movie. Well, it doesn't work that way. You have to have an arc. Your characters, your story. So I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I was thinking that this has got to be the middle of the story. Didn't have my phone on me or my watch, so I'm thinking this has got to be somewhere around the middle of the story. I'm getting a little bored of it. Where's the midpoint going to come in and going to switch things around and flip it and make the story go in a different direction? I'm waiting, and I saw 3 things that happened. I'm like, oh, here it is. Nope. So the first one was the Amish. The Amish won't let them dig underground. It's sacred ground. It's God's world, God's ground, so you can't do it. So they can't go around. They can't go over it. Well, we've got to go under it. So they do it anyways. So where's the conflict for there? Where's the consequence for there? You did it anyways. There's no conflict there. You won't let me? I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, conflict reverted. The second one was Alexander Skarsgård as the coding nerd is very... he doesn't like conflict. He doesn't like, to get in situations like that, so he's very shy. Selma Hayek finds them. She finds him in a hot tub room, and she starts threatening him and telling him that he's going to go to jail and all this stuff. And then I'm thinking, okay, his character's going to make a big change right here, and this is going to make the story change, and here we go. We're off and running. Nope. Barely an inconvenience from the pitch meeting, if I could steal one thing there. Nothing happens from that. I mean, something happened much later, but it's so ineffective when it comes down to the totality of the story. And then you have one final moment where something happens to Jesse Eisenberg's character, and I'm thinking, okay, here's the moment. This has got to be the midpoint. It's going to change the story. He's going to make different decisions from now, and it's going to affect the rest of the story. Nope. Let's keep pushing on from point A to point B. Nothing's going to stand in our way. Okay, if you don't have conflict, you don't have story. If you don't have consequences for your action, you don't have story. So at the very end, he goes back and apologizes to the Amish. There's your conflict resolution, I guess. In the end, this movie is just uneventful. And that's okay. There's movies that go from point A to point B, and then in the end, nothing works out for the hero. But throughout that journey, we see why. Either there's going to be character growth, character development, still learn something, even though there's all these ups and downs and peaks and valleys, he still learns something. In the end of this movie, there's no peaks and valleys. It's a straight line, no arc, straight line. We went through it, didn't work out, and did I learn something? I don't know, maybe. But in the end, it's just uneventful. So go see something else. I would see Dumbo, Alita. Hell, I'd even see Captain Marvel again before I watch this. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, subscribe over here. Hit that little button right there for our logo. Subscribe to the J. Craig, get our podcast, our movie reviews, and our tutorials. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.